Hello and welcome, race fans one and all, to yet another brand new season kicking off here at the Sebring International Raceway in Sebring, Florida, in the United States of America. My name is Lola Rempel and want to welcome race fans all across the world to the V8 Supercars World Cup for what should be a very, very entertaining race for us then here tonight. For the season opener, in what will be 16 rounds. 25 laps about to get underway for us here from this beautiful racetrack down in Florida. As always, we're thanking you that you're joining us here on a beautiful evening to go racing for what should be a potentially thrilling run here around this amazing 5.8 kilometer circuit. As you can see, there are going to be some things to keep note of course. 80% fuel tank limitations. Will be seeing these drivers having to keep themselves a bit on the edge here when it comes to racing tonight as we get set to rocket our way around the Sebring International Circuit for 25 rounds here tonight. You know that there's going to be a lot of drivers that are going to be looking to make those moves. Obviously, turn one, going to be a very big passing opportunity. Of course, down into the hairpin turn, which is going to be just out of turn number 6, going to be the slowest corner, the second best pass opportunity on the circuit. Don't forget, Sunset Bend, the last corner out of the Ullman Straight. You know we're going to be seeing a few moves being made down into there as well. Already qualifying was completed earlier on today. So 27 drivers getting set to rocket around this racetrack for us here tonight down in Florida as we get set to go racing for what should be frankly, a very, very thrilling race for us then here tonight. You see the cars already lined up on the starting grid. So I think it is high time that we take a run through and show you how things are going to be lining on up for us then for tonight's 25-lap event. It's going to be Andy Thomas on pole position after a stellar qualifying lap of 2 minutes, 7.113. Logan Kinghorn starts beside her on the front row. Nathan Orbit is in third with Stephen Colon down in fourth. Jose Mills finally makes his return in fifth place with Alyssa Harris down in sixth. Mitchell O'Brien is in seventh with Tony Stewart in eighth. Will Parrish is in ninth place. Nathan Christensen sits 10th. Dominic Horn is in 11th with Logan Hamilton down in 12th. Moving on down to the order, you've got Zachary Fitzwater Sr. in 13th with Felix Jansen in 4th. Christian Vargas is 15th with George Ward in 16th. Michael Brown is 17th with Nathan Wheaton in 18th. Luca Reed is in 19th with Matt Jones down in 20th place. Aiden Stone rounds out 21st with Archer Kingsley in 22nd. Casey Wells is in 23rd with Jesse Bell in 24th. You got yourself then Lewis Young, Declan Foster, and Dylan McKenzie to round out tonight's 27-car field for what should be a very, very thrilling 25-lap event. So it's time for us to get set to go racing here from Florida. The Florida Grand Prix. Get it set to kick off in the Sebring International Raceway. Once again, happy that all of our race fans could join us here for some thrilling V8 Supercar racing action tonight as we get set to go racing for 25 laps. Solid getaway there from Andy Thomas as they rocket down towards turn number 1. Look at Logan Kinghorn, though, pulling alongside into mad dash down into turn number 1 for the first time today. And Andy Thomas is going to just pull ahead at the apex. One car gets sent around to the back. It's a big pile up at the back of the field. Looks like they're all going to get themselves sorted. I know Wheaton still off course. It's been a big smash, though, in the opening lap here from Sebring International Raceway. We'll come back to that in just a moment, but there's been a huge, huge collision for a lot of the drivers at the tail end of the field. Overtake looks to be making Mitchell O'Brien going up against Jose Mills in the sprint down in towards turn number 4 at the old hairpin. He's going to lose out, and O'Brien pulls ahead. And the 92 Caterpillar machine, Jose Mills, was trying to make the move up on Alyssa Harris. Behind them, there's a lunge. Logan Hamilton taken to the inside of Tony Stewart. The 70 going up against the number 20 Home Depot Mustang. Throwing their way through the second sector for the first time today. Out through Collier Curve and down into Tower Turn before they hit the Flying Fortress straight for the first time tonight. Still got some side-by-side battles further in the back. I know Luca Reed being put under some big pressure at the moment. You've also got guys like Dominic Horn still looking to make up some aggressive moves as well. Up at the front end of the field, Andy Thomas still leads the way by now over a second. Mitchell O'Brien to Stephen Colon. Battling out for fourth and fifth, and now Colon about to lose out one more to Jose Mills. You've also got Logan Kinghorn at risk of losing third in the podium. Taking it to the outside line is going to be the number 22 car, and it looks like the 37 machine will be able to pull ahead. Andy Thomas will lead the opening lap then. Still side by side down the front straightaway. The snap-on Holden Commodore V8 Supercar trying to pull alongside the Napa number 9. And Mills gets past Cologne. And it looks like Cologne will try to get back past Jose Mills as well. This is where it's going to get tight. Side by side again down at the turn number 2. This time much cleaner run through turn 1 as we complete the first lap of the day. We'll see if we can't look back at the major incident that collected a good number of drivers to start this race off. So this is going to be the look from the drop of the green flag in the mad dash in towards turn number 1. Oh, it was 3 wide of the back, and it was a collision. That sent the Castrol machine around, and from there you got 2, 3, 4, 5 cars that all got swept up in the mix of this, and amidst the numbers of that, you had about 7 total cars involved in that lap 1 smash, but good news is it looks like everything has been well and sorted at the tail end of the field, so we're going to keep this thing green. Field now going to get itself sorted into the middle portion of the racetrack here as we get set to settle ourselves into a bit of a rhythm. Tony Stewart still been put under some pressure by Alyssa Harris. As well as that, you've got Nathan Christensen who's going to get up and past Harris, who has started to slip a little bit further back into number 56. There's going to be the move. It's a dive bomb for Fitzwater Sr. Harris is going to drop one more, so she is continuing to fall back. Dominic Horn also going to make his way up and past the number 56. Still blazing down the front straightaway, almost 3 wide. There's also a tight fight going on for the lead. Andy Thomas trying to fight against Nathan Orman. Orman's going to be deeper on the brakes, takes it high side. And the number 13 Shelby Power Mustang is going to go through on the Holden. That was a brilliant overtake there from Nathan Orman to go for the race lead on the 3rd lap of the event tonight at the Florida Grand Prix. Will Thomas make the move back into the old hairpin? Doesn't look like he will. And already Nathan Orman really starting to pull away. Zach Fitzwater Sr., though, being put under some serious pressure, along with Nathan Christensen. They're in the fight for 10th place at the moment. Oh, and hello, Logan Hamilton really swinging out wide after overtaking Will Parrish. Going to get one more look at that mess as Hamilton pulled over to the left-hand side, was way deep on the brakes, and how about this? Pulling it for a power slide, nearly looping the Vodafone Mustang around. Pretty thrilling opening few laps then, as you could also see Hamilton now trying to charge after the Caterpillar 92. Going to take it to the inside line in Lamont Curve. How is that for an overtake there? Hamilton breaking past Mills, and Andy Thomas just made the overtake for the race lead again, down the open straight into Sunset Bend. Looks like she just got a better drive coming around through the through Le Mans curve and down onto the front straightaway. Will Nathan Orman try to battle back for the race lead? I would be very surprised if he didn't. Looks like Thomas is going to be a bit clearer for the time being. I know Will Parrish just got past Jose Mills as well. Deeper in this field, so you've got a lot of drivers still switching and swapping spots around left, right, front, and center. Don't forget those 80% fuel tank limitations as well. We'll be bringing these drivers into pit road at least once tonight. Going defensive is going to be Logan Hamilton. Outside line for Will Parrish, trying to take it through hairpin turn. Not going to get there, and it will in fact be Jose Mills to get past Will Parrish through the Fangio chicane to the run to Cunningham corner. So the lap time's really starting to kind of fall away quite rapidly in the opening round of the V8 Supercars World Cup. This is at the moment one of the closest battles you've got for actual points pay positions on the day. Pulling over to the right-hand side is going to be that number one car. Will Parrish has a huge head of overspeed on Jose Mills. Going to be able to break past down the open straight in the dash down towards Sunset Bend. And he holding on the inside, muscling the Caterpillar 92 out to the left. Jose Mills, though, fighting back outside line. I think Will Parrish just got in clear now as to try to run down Logan Hamilton for sixth. Hamilton goes defensive. Parrish is the outside line. And a bit of overspeed. Going to take that spot away. Hamilton started to fall back a bit. Almost banging doors as they exit turn two. Down for three. Parrish pulls clear. Hamilton now being put under fire by Jose Mills, the 92 Caterpillar machine. Pulls the inside through Gurney Bend, but had to tag the brakes after getting pinched in. That's going to allow Tony Stewart to get up and into the fray. It's just a maddening fight, this. Nobody's really wanting to pull away in the slightest for the time being. Oh, how about that? Jose Mills lunging for the inside of Stewart down into Gendabee Bend. That was a brilliant overtake there from Mills and a bold move at that. But it looks like Stewart's got the upper hand. Mills goes defensive and muscles Tony Stewart out. Stewart cuts back to the left-hand side. And we'll have the draft down the straightaway, but breaks early. Mills locks up deep into Sunset, but is able to hold it steady. A A very hectic opening couple of rounds then, as there's a bit of door-to-door contact. That was with Fitzwater and Christensen just behind, coming through turn 1. Out through 2 and down for 3. Now the 7 car trying to lunge for the inside of Stewart. I think it got into him a little bit more. You already see the scratches on the right-hand side. You're getting into the yellow cover machine of Zachary Fitzwater Sr. On board with Nathan Christensen. Side by side through Gurney Bend. Fitzwater's got the upper hand, though, and I think we'll just be able to pull clear. Looks for the inside. Fitzwater covers, though, and is going to take advantage of the defense of the 92 car to have a look to the inside of Stewart. And you're going to see Michael Brown now trying to get his hands dirty in this fight as well. All in all, looking like a pretty solid fight out here for the time being. This is deeper in the field now. These are the cars running at the back, including Lewis Young, Archer Kingsley, and Dylan McKenzie. It's worth noting that they have not stopped battling amongst themselves in the last spots on the grid, of which I do believe there are points being awarded for these final spots as well, so every spot counts. Potential attack here. Logan Hamilton getting the speed on Will Parrish in the dash down towards Sunset Bend. Parrish is able to pull one out. But Hamilton's going to battle this one out right down to corner exit and gets muscled out. Parrish was not about to leave that door open to Logan Hamilton, who's going to end up slipping back as a result. Here's the number 54 car trying to go on the attack against Jose Mills of the 92. Zach Fitzwater Sr., you right on board with him now as he tries to close in the gap. Oh, and big problems for Nathan Norman, who has gone off the circuit at the hairpin turn. Comes back on, has to be careful for that rejoin, though. Taking a look back on what just happened. Deep on the brakes, locked it up, and it's too hot, and just slid off and into the grass, went for the escape road, and good thing he did. That could have been a pretty nasty rejoin there. And now Mills has got the upper hand on Hamilton, trying to fight it out with him. He will hang on. Christian Vargas, though, having a major off down at Cunningham. Going to rejoin safely. Doesn't look like he's hit anything, so going to be all good there. Mills still looking to battle it out with Hamilton, though. Into the Le Mans curb. Hamilton's got the outside. Mills up on the inside of the Vodafone Mustang, forced to bow out. Could that put him under fire from Fitzwater and Brown right behind him? Sure enough, it will. Fitzwater looking for the inside. Trying to break one now here, but Hamilton's so good on ripping the outside line. If only he wasn't being held up there by Jose Mills, who's going to make this one a drag race in the mad dash down towards turn 1. Still fighting this one out big time. This is going to get tied on the exit of turn 1. They just managed to survive it. And Stephen Colon off course, and Colon so close to the barriers there. Colon having had a major struggle here, it would seem, and this could find him very well being out of the race. Oh, just got it loose on the brakes and had to back it across the circuit in order to avoid clogging the track. And he was forced to take that tail back to pit road. Just could not find a safe spot to rejoin. Here's a madhouse of cars, though. Still battling now with one another. All this side-by-side action just brings everybody else right back into the fray at the back of the field. Was on board with Nathan Christensen. As one by one, drivers start to make these little moves in this pack. I know Stewart just took one away from Mills. That was coming around through Tower Turn. And Brown going to go on the offensive against Mills as well. Mills really getting the squeeze put on him by Michael Brown. That could have been rather nasty there. Through turn one, that was Logan Kinghorn looking for the inside of O'Brien, and now Stewart finds himself equally under fire. Brown still looking to work on Jose Mills. This is not doing these guys in the back here any favors. And in fact, there is Alyssa Harris working her way back up through the grid. Just got back by Dominic Horn. So it's looking like now things are starting to kind of settle back down just for the time being, and potentially we could be seeing a little bit of a lull here as things start to kind of progress. Already almost a 1 minute spread on the field as a whole. Logan Hamilton once again finding himself being put under some trying to put pressure on Tony Stewart, but not able to find a hole. Mills and Brown once again can't find themselves separated. Stephen Colon has reset himself now down into pit road. We should be seeing him rejoining the action here relatively quickly. And back he is there. You'll be seeing Stephen Colon looking to rejoin the racing action, but he is at the moment several laps down, so it is not going to be a very fun time for him. He's now actually just one lap down, so he still has a chance. Maybe he can get a lap wave back around if he or if we get a safety car at some point throughout this the last 15 laps or so of this race. Harris to the inside of Christensen at the old hairpin. And that's going to be another spot gained for Alyssa Harris, who is continuing to work on her charge up through the field. Still got that Home Depot Mustang working on Fitzwater's Holden. Oh, so tight as they run down towards Tower Turn, but he's going to lose it there. Nathan Orman way off course. Where are you going through, Le Mans? Is that going to be the barriers? I think he just gave them a little bit of a kiss. So Nathan Orman having a significant off, and I think he's just pushed it too wide. In fact, he has too wide and ran it off into the grass. And also looking at Dylan McKenzie, who's also run wide. Locked it up too deep. There you see some of the biggest movers and shakers so far today. How about Zach Fitzwater Sr. and Michael Brown, both of them +7. Tough break for Stephen Colon, who obviously has lost the most, but that was due to a wreck. Alyssa Harris has dropped 5. Hamilton looking to make his way to move up 5 positions as well as he tries to break past Stewart, but not going to get there in the run down to turn 1. Thinks about it that time by into turn 3, but again decides against it. Oh, that's a huge lockup. I thought he wasn't going to be able to slow him down in time, but he just managed to get on the binders. I do believe we've also seen a pass for P12. Dominic Horn trying to get past George Ward really deep on the brakes and actually took that one outside line. So good job on being aggressive on the brake pedal. That's what you got to do in cars like these. And it looks as though Jesse Bell has had another off, but should be just a relatively clean-cut incident there for Bell. You can see starting to rejoin the racing surface. In fact, he's not the only one. Actually, hello, Declan Foster missing the rear wing on his car. So Declan Foster has had a major struggle of some sort. This is the run down in towards turn, actually the hairpin turn. Whoa, really deep, and that was the 86 car that just ran over the 79. It's not a very pleasant sight to see, is it, when you see that kind of approaching on your doorstep. That was not at all what I imagine Jesse Bell was wanting to do. That's why we saw Bell way off the racetrack. Goodness, sorry, no, that was Archer Kingsley that ran into the R batteries. Hold it. And now it looks as though Jose Mills has taken an off-track excursion. We haven't seen this happen for a little while yet and almost took out Stewart. Hamilton will say thank you very much. Starting to approach that halfway point, and now it's at the point where a lot of these drivers are going to be starting to think, how long will it be before I want to make that trip down into pit road? Do you want to split it 2 and 2, or do you want to try to run the tank out dry? It is Stone way off the road and reversing to get back onto the racing circuit. What on earth is going on here? Oh, way too deep, and sure enough, holy cow, lucky to keep it out of the barriers there. And he wasn't the only one. Declan Foster having another off. Trying to rejoin here. A pretty precarious angle. I think he's just managed to get himself sorted there, and then he's actually gone off the track again. Good gravy. So not a very pleasant time then for a few of those drivers who are still struggling towards the rear of the field. There's Dominic Horn and Alyssa Harrison. They're fight for 11th and 12th. Harris has the overspeed, trying to get past Horn before they can hit turn one. If you can get the nose ahead for turn one, you'll usually come out on top. And in fact, Dominic Horn just going to let Harris have that one. Did not want to take any kind of risks. Something is starting to tell me that fatigue is starting to set in a little bit. I mean, these cars are very, very taxing to drive. And in fact, you can see George Wardow with a run on Horn as well. He'll go to the outside line in the Bottle O Mustang GT. Slamming on the binders, and I think Ward will just be able to hang that one outside line through the hairpin turn and take that one away through the Fangio chicane up towards Cunningham. Solid move there for the number 69. But actually, it's looking to be a little bit slow here as we hit the halfway point, and this could allow the 7 car, Anothea Christensen, to just punch his ticket right back into the mix. Race leader Annie Thomas is into pit road. Is this the time where we'll be seeing drivers come on in? Nathan Orman going to be staying out. So Orman is going to inherit the race lead. Mitchell O'Brien is in. So is Parrish. What will Zach Fitzwater do? Will he opt to come down into pit road? Looks like he will, and I would imagine a good number of drivers here are going to be making their trips to the pit road. It only takes one. And sure enough, just about everybody at the moment here is going to be making that trip down to the lane. So Andy Thomas and David Norman have both opted to stay out for the time being. And as has Stephen Colon, but that is of no big surprise. Christian Vargas also staying now for the time being. And Andy Thomas, has just pitted into the lane. See everybody else filing out of pit row one by one right behind them. And it looks as though one of these drivers, Jesse Bell, has also opted to stay out and go a little bit longer on the hopes that he might be able to take up a couple of spots. That is not going to happen, though. I can tell you that right now. So Andy Thomas is the one driver still needed to come into pit row. We're going to look to Nathan Orman now. It's actually, oh, hello, Nathan Wheaton has gone into the barriers and he's taken a cone with him. Look at this. Too deep, clips one of the track marker cones and just goes straight on into the tire barriers, but has rejoined the track safely. And when does Nathan Orman opt to come on down into pit road? He's going to make that call right now, so this is the big decision here that Orman's going to have. He's got to try to keep Andy Thomas behind him. You can see the track map showing exactly where Thomas is in relation to Ormond. This could get a little bit tight here. Here comes Thomas out of the final corner. Will she beat Nathan Orman out of pit road? Oh, by a long shot. Thomas is gone before Orman can even leave his pit box. Christian Vargas, who had also opted to stay out, is now going to be pitted in as well. We expect Luca Reed to be pitting in this time as well. Oh, hello. Nathan Wheaton also coming down to the lane. Didn't realize he hadn't made a stop yet. Way in the background here, you see the number 3 car of Luca Reed battled it out against Nathan Christensen, and Christensen will go high side past the number 3 car. Tell you what, Christensen lost out a good deal in that series of pit stops. Also got the fight for third starting to pick up between Logan Kinghorn and Will Parrish. Parrish has really caught Kinghorn throughout the midst of this pit cycle as well. Jesse Bell's had a pretty big smash as well, so we'll take a look on what just happened to Bell, who was reversing across the circuit. Locks up into 3. Oh, glances hard into the wall and is going to back it up to try to get himself repositioned and rejoin the racetrack. And I don't think realized quite what on earth he was doing. Looks like he's not the only one. I can tell you right now that Declan Foster just had a pretty long off-track excursion as well. We're going to look up to the fight for third place, though. Just continuing to get tighter and tighter with Will Parrish trying to attack Logan Kinghorn. How about Alyssa Harris managing to break past Michael Brown? That was the dash in towards turn number 1. We're going to take a look back at this one. So a good run for Harris on the outside out of Sunset Bend. Oh, and it looks like there was an off here for George Ward. Nobody around him, just by himself. Oh, clips the cone on the exit of turn 1. Jumps across a couple of the access roads, but is going to rejoin without too much of a fuss. Here's a pretty big scrap. Felix Jensen, Dominic Horn, Nathan Christensen, 14th, 15th, and 16th place, all up for grabs at the moment. This is approaching turn, it's approaching turn number, the hairpin turn. We're 10 laps to go at this point in the Florida Grand Prix. Ooh, that's too deep for the 27 car. Dominic Horn runs it wide, almost sacrifices the spot to Nathan Christensen, but is able to wrestle it back. Horn's got the overspeed on Jansen out of Le Mans curve onto the Ullman straight. Under a 10th and a half, 10th and a quarter. Can't pull alongside though, so Jansen will hang on for just that little bit longer. Nathan Christensen still hungry, still wanting to try to find a way through, especially after losing 6 spots so far on the day. Wants to stop the bleeding here, start getting some of those spots right back. There's going to be the move outside line. Dominic Horn trying to take it away. Jansen trying to fight as hard as he can from the inside. Is it going to be enough, though, to hold the inside into turn 3? Don't think it will be. That 27 car fighting this one out big time. Through 4, cycling through 5. And into the Gurney Bend. Still side by side, but Horn finally breaks clear. Now can Felix Jansen hang on against the charging Nathan Christensen out of the Gurney Bend in the sprint down towards the hairpin turn? There's a late lunge. Christensen to the inside of that 46 car of Felix Jansen. Declan Foster makes a secondary trip down to pit road. What a fight there that Felix Jansen had, and I think he might have just stopped him for now, unless Christensen could try to battle back. It's not going to happen. Ow, whoa, hello, Luca Reed, way off course into the barriers. That came out of left field, locks it up, misses the cones, and doesn't miss the tire barriers, though. Still got Will Parrish trying to get past Logan Kinghorn as well, but he has had so far very minimal success in doing so. He's always able to close down to about a 10.5, but just can't make a move. How about that, though? Late lunge from Parrish, goes for the outside. What a move there for Will Parrish to punch his ticket up onto the podium. On board with Will Parrish, looking how much of a run he got, and Logan Kinghorn just slamming on the brakes. Did Kinghorn give it to him? I think he did. He braked way early and just gave that one up to Will Parrish. Didn't want to risk fighting that out all that much. Andy Thomas has continued to lead unchallenged in this race. It is now 8 seconds clear of Nathan Ormond. Let's check here some of the battles further on down the order. How about Casey Wells trying to make a move on George Ward? This is for 12th place. Pulls alongside for the hairpin turn. Just can't quite get there. It's such a difficult move. Hanging one around the outside line there. Looks like Christian Vargas having some major struggles over at turns 3 and 4. Oh, just a little deep there and into the barriers. Mitchell O'Brien has started to catch up to Logan Kinghorn in this three-way fight for, or making it a three-way fight for third, and goes high side. So Kinghorn started to slip back as Mitchell O'Brien goes up into fourth. Oh, can he hang on though? Kinghorn is fighting back, but I think O'Brien just has the inside line enough that he'll be able to hold it into turn 1. Oh, maybe not. Kinghorn's dead set with him down the front straight. Locked up, goes for the crossover. But O'Brien covers him off. Oh, that's a big pinch there. And Logan Kinghorn not going to be a happy camper with that at all. Tony Stewart has now entered the fray. Oh, and problems for Logan Hamilton. Stopped on the racetrack. And safety car deployed. Full course yellow on the circuit. Logan Hamilton having some kind of major incident. Getting pinched into the wall. Oh, he just ground against the wall and then came to a stop. But they might have broken something in the car, like a suspension or something. Gets pinched in and then just, I think that forced him up into the wall. on board. He was fighting it out here with the 54 car. Yeah, just got pinched in and forced out wide, and something broke. It was Fitzwater Senior that he was fighting it out with. That is unfortunate for Hamilton. He was doing so good and worked his way into the mix of the pack. It would have been an issue if you would have been able to park it in the grass on the exit of the racetrack, but since he was on the racing service, really didn't have any choice but to pull the yellow there. As the pace car now leaves pit road. And LaVille starts to catch up to the iRacing safety car. Declan Foster and Stephen Colon are both laps down. I'd be very surprised if they didn't get those laps back, though. Overall, it has been a pretty thrilling race so far from Sebring. I mean, this has just been absolutely fantastic, the type of racing that we've been seeing here. As one by one, drivers continue to push a little bit closer in towards pit road. I think this is going to be a bigger question. Will we be seeing drivers coming on down into pit road for pit stops? Next race, we'll be swinging over to Wisconsin for a 23-lap race around Road America. Then it's a 41-lap run in Alabama at the Barber Motorsports Park. Street circuit racing at Long Beach and Road Atlanta will top out the first 5 rounds. There is the word of those 2 drivers that are going to be allowed to overtake the safety car. That was Stephen Colon and Declan Foster. They were both allowed to take their laps back, so they will get up and pass the safety car and rejoin the rest of the field. And the rest of the field just trying to catch up still. With the hazard cleared away, though, I would be very surprised if we didn't see that safety car come on in this next time by. Obviously, can't really bring them in this time. This is not good news, though, for Andy Thomas, who was having such a good run, was 8 seconds clear of Nathan Norman, but has now had that gap completely reduced. Will we seeing anybody take the pit road? Doesn't look like we will. And that doesn't surprise me. We should be seeing these guys good to go up until the end of the race. Pace car lights are out, and yep, there it is, safety car in this lap. One car did come into pit road, though, so this will be interesting. I believe that was Logan. Oh, that was Logan Hamilton. Never mind, he was the driver that was already in pit road. He has just been reset. So we'll have 4 laps left to go when we take that green flag. So this really is that kind of moment where it's like pick your bets and we'll figure out who's going to win this one. Jesse Bell, Dylan McKenzie, the last 2 drivers that we are expecting to be able to catch the pace car. Still not sure if Fausto or Colombo will get there in time, but obviously there's not really in a rush for them. They just did get their laps back after all. Hitting the Ullman straight for the final time before we go back green flag racing, and it will be in the hands of Andy Thomas as soon as that pace car makes the hard right turn down into pit road. It's crunch time for the field. 4 laps left to go, this time by and pace cars down this time by. Putting it in the hands of Andy Thomas. Green flag's back in the air and we're underway for the final 4 laps. Side by side as they thunder down into turn number 1. Look at Stewart taking the high side away from Logan Kinghorn. It's a mad dash into turn number 3. Andy Thomas just struggling to try to break away. Well, they duke it out behind them. Orman's caught Thomas though and is looking for a run down into hairpin turn. Looks like Thomas will keep it on the road, so no struggles there. Nathan Orman going to hang on to second place for now. Look at the field cycling through hairpin turn. So tight and winding. There's a move for Christensen trying to go inside on Dominic Horn. I think we'll be able to steal 13th. Out through Collier. Cuts across just in time for the braking zone at Tower Turn. Wasn't the best of launches there for Andy Thomas, who started to get caught up by Nathan Ormond, closing down to half a second, but it won't be enough to close on him. But Nathan Ormond is there and is really ready to pounce on Andy Thomas and take that race lead back. Can he get her into turn number 1? Thomas goes defensive. Ormond pulls over to the right. 3 laps to go, a 10th and a half. Nathan Ormond closing, but not closing enough. Andy Thomas hangs on for just 1 more corner. As well as that, Tony Stewart gets past Mitchell O'Brien, but it's not confirmed. O'Brien fighting back as Stewart tries to hang it high side through turn 3. It's going to be a heads-up fight between these 2 drivers as they run down through Gurney Bend in the mad dash down towards the hairpin turn. Stewart wins out immediately covers the inside line so he can't be attacked all over again. Steven Cologne's had an off into turn 3. Oh, that's a hard hit into the barriers too. What a race it has been so far. I mean, this has just been nonstop action from start to finish. Every single lap you've got some kind of hard-fought battle, one place or another on the racetrack. And right now, that fight is right up for the top spot. Look at how much Nathan Orman has closed. Andy Thomas isn't safe. The 8-second gap was the one thing keeping her in the lead, but now that that's gone, Nathan Orman, with his great short-run pace, is ready to pounce again. A 10th and a half, but Andy Thomas is just a little bit better when it comes to the brakes. So Orman's got to hope that he can get her when it comes to the acceleration side of things. That is realistically the only way that Orman is going to be able to take that race lead back. He's got a good run, though. Down the front straightaway. Pulls alongside. Can he take Andy Thomas into turn 1? Dead even on the brakes. Orman, high side, pulls in front, but Andy Thomas fighting back, muscles the Shell V-Power number 13 forward out to the right and just hangs on to the lead with 2 to go. Oh, heads up here. That's one thing Norman's got to look out for. Will Parrish wants to find himself just a few more points as well. There is a bit of a higher point spread from the top positions as opposed to those lower spots. So those top spots matter oh so much. So I can guarantee you that Will Parrish will take that opportunity when he can. Orman, though, deeper on the brakes, and he's taking it high side into Cunningham Corner. What an overtake there for the race lead. Gonna have to get another look at that one. This move came out of left field. Orman slams on the binders and is just able to take that spot away. Now the question is, can Andy Thomas fight back and try to pick up the race lead? I think this could be a little bit close. Andy Thomas starting to lose ground. Will Parrish still hungry for second. But remember how much better Andy Thomas is on the brakes, and now she's got the advantage of the draft. Final lap, and there's only half a second under that now. Separated the top 2. Andy Thomas trying to go for the race lead. Quarter of a second, closing in. Still closing in. Knocking together for turn 1. Nathan Christensen has had a major incident at Sunset Bend as we hit the final lap of this race. Oh, way too deep. Didn't slow down. And is that going to be in the barriers? Swings it out wide. He just keeps it out. But now he's going to have to slam on the binders in order to get himself rejoined with the racetrack. Last lap board has been displayed. Andy Thomas still trying to go after the race lead, trying to get around Nathan Orman. Lunging for the brakes, but Orman is just so much better at some parts of the track than Andy Thomas is. And I think now that he's pulled out a second up over Andy Thomas, I don't think Thomas is going to be able to get there. That is unless the 67 car of Christian Vargas ends up having a hand to play in this fight at the head of the row, but I don't think Vargas will have any say in how this fight plays out, but the gap is over 2 seconds, so we're going to check back in on some of these battles deeper in the field. How about this one between Alyssa Thomas trying to get around Jose Mills, but Mills fends her off at the 92. Mills is still looking hungry, looking left, looking right, weaving across the racetrack. That's not the only battle you got on their hands. You've also got second place still looking to pick up Andy Thomas, just trying to hang on to a podium and trying to hang on to second as well. Nathan Orban, though, coming around the final corner now. He was 8 seconds back, but took it early on the restart. He's going to come out of Sunset Bend. Nathan Orban wins the Florida Grand Prix from Sebring International Raceway. And Andy Thomas able to hang on to second place there. A drag race for several of these positions as they cycle their way across the line. What a fight, though, from everybody in this field, and managed to put on such an amazing race for the first ever round in the V8 Supercars Championship. Logan Hamilton will be the last car running on course, and he'll be the one driver that we're going to have to wait on before we can properly close this race out. I tell you what, though, I mean, that was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, you really, it's hard to ask for a much better race than that one. I mean, when you want to come to Sebring International Raceway, you come for the exciting racing that this track can provide with all of its unique challenges, from the corners to the bumps to the profile of some of these corners. Who thought that a flat track like this could provide so much entertainment? Just absolutely stellar stuff from this grouping. Once again, wasn't a single lap that was under green flag conditions where we didn't have some kind of fierce fight raging on right down to the checkered flag. Honestly, can't think of a better venue to have opened up this season. And of course, Road America, long straights, hard braking zones, perfect for racing like this over in Wisconsin. Couldn't ask for a better couple of tracks to kick off the season. The real challenge when it comes to overtaking will come at Barber Motorsports Park for that 41-lap event for round number 3 of the season. Logan Hamilton is going to be coming on around through the final corner now. We get set to close things out. Hamilton crosses the line. So let's take a rundown of your official post-race results from Sebring. It's Nathan Orban, the winner, with Andy Thomas down in second place. That will put the likes of Will Parrish down in third, with Tony Stewart in fourth. You, of course, are going to have yourself Logan Kinghorn in fifth. Jose Mills was in sixth. And that will put Alyssa Harris in seventh, Mitchell O'Brien and Dave Zachary Fitzwater Sr. in ninth. George Ward rounds out the top 10. From there, you've got Casey Wells, along with Michael Brown, Dominic Horn, Nathan Wheaton, Felix Jensen, Matt Jones, Luca Reed, Jesse Bell, and rounded out the field will be Archer Kingsley, Nathan Christensen, Aiden Stone, Dylan McKenzie, Lewis Young, Declan Foster, Stephen Colon, Christian Vargas, and Logan Hamilton, unfortunately, brings up the rear. So that's about all the time we're going to have for one day then here from beautiful Sebring International Raceway. Here's a look at your championship standings exiting tonight. Want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us for some thrilling racing action in the season opener of the V8 Supercars World Cup. Join us next time when we go racing over in Wisconsin for round number 2 of what should be a very thrilling season if tonight was anything to go by.